Welcome back to Games Revealed. I'm James and also The Brink, and today I want to talk about some other options that you have with the Steam Deck, other than the Steam Deck, that is. Let's make sure that's for sure, because you're not going to get a Steam Deck. Sorry to burst your bubble unless you go certain routes, and and if you're Q1, but if you're watching this, if you are, let me know in the comments below. Actually, if you're Q1, you've got yours, you're enjoying it, I'd love to hear it. But if you're not, and you're like the rest of us, then you're gonna have to find another way to play games on the go. With that being said, I don't have a fixation at all with this. Like Steam Deck, there's nothing wrong with it, so I can stop whenever I want talking about the Steam Deck. Besides little cheesy skits, let's get into this topic a little bit more. But before we do that, like, subscribe, bash that bell with your crowbar. Okay. First up, the best way to get a Steam Deck right now, if you are not up for a reservation, like if your reservation's not up yet, or not going to be up for a while, would be going to eBay and paying a scalper. I don't recommend this. I'm just letting you know it's an option. I've done a video in the past before. I'm not doing it. I don't recommend anyone like pay a scalper. It's a gray area for me. I definitely don't like scalpers. I definitely think the Steam Deck was done well enough through Valve to where it wasn't scalped as much as some other devices, potentially like GPUs, right? GPUs have been scalped the hell out of the PS5, Xbox Series. Those things have been pretty crazy. When I checked with the Steam Deck, it was a couple hundred, and it was about 700, and I think half those at least were in Q2. So it's really hard to say how many like real scalpers there were. I'm sure there was a couple of people that had, maybe 10 plus Steam accounts. I don't know. This is all assuming, and I don't need to assume things. Just really, unless you think this is going to be the ultimate device for the rest of your life, don't go the eBay route. Just wait. But if you can't wait, if you're like me and you're eyeing over other options, then you know what? There's other options. First off, I'm going to go with the non-real competition for the Steam Deck. One, like, it's portable gaming, but it's not PC portable gaming. And you have two options that I think are great. And really just one of them is the go-to still, Switch. Switch is still a great device. If you love Nintendo games, go for it. Just stick with the Switch. It has a lot of games on it. And they're getting Portal 1, I believe Portal 2. They're going to be getting a lot of different games for this console, even, and I'm sure it's going to be supported in a couple of years. So we'll see about Switch Pro or Switch 2, and if it will be backwards compatible, that will be even sweeter reason to get a Switch if you can't wait for your Steam Deck. But if you're like me and already have a Switch and want a Steam Deck instead, I will for sure be playing my Steam Deck a lot more than my Switch. I do love my Switch. There's a couple of games on there I just cannot stand playing, and one of them is Witcher. Just cannot stand it. So Switch is number one, I think, alternative for just for console gaming on the go. The PlayStation Vita is a great second, and I know that's a weird one on the list. I think I really like my PS Vita. It is the only problem is I can't fully recommend. I only recommend it is if you want to play some RPGs on the go, some old PlayStation games on the go. It's not a bad one, and it will have some decent game selection. It's not supported anymore. You're going to be buying into an old ecosystem, and I believe they're sunsetting some of the stores. If that's not, like, I know they backtracked on some. I'm not sure if Vita was sunsetted. So essentially it was discontinued, so you can't use the store anymore. Can't remember on that, but it's not a bad option. It's just there are better. So let's get into the better. Let's get into the true PC portable gaming alternatives of the Steam Deck, and actually what brought this all into probably why we have a Steam Deck. And that is really, I think, three consoles. And I think a lot of you will agree with me. And those are the INEO, GPD Win 3, and OneXPlayer. Just the three that I've watched out for. I've never played one personally, and so I can't promise how good these play, because I like to give hands-on advice. Like if it's something I've played, then I feel very confident in my opinion about it and the advice I give to people. But I will say, between these three, I will give just a couple of details, and it should be enough for you to decide which one's right for you. But if you can't decide, there's also a lot of YouTubers that have already done reviews on these. Linus Tech Tips has done a review on pretty much every single version, and there's a ton of them. And that's actually one of my beefs, I would say, with these devices, that there's a lot, but they have been out for a few years now. So OneXPlayer is my preferred one, actually. The way I like it is bigger, and I would go for the 1S version of it. And these devices, the OneXPlayer ones, range from $999 to $1,419. And the reason I like these the most, I like the form factor, I like the way they look, and I like the screen size on them. That is pretty much the reason. The performance on the newer ones with the AMD, Linus did a video on it, and it was pretty convincing that that's the one I think I'd like a little bit more, but it would be hard for me. And I know this is an easier one to find because the Aya Neo Next, which is the other one I'd recommend, is pretty baller, but it starts out around $1,345 on its price tag. It's the best all around. So if you want something that's, for the most part, pretty portable, something that is very similar in a lot of ways to the Steam Deck, but in specs is more powerful. And if you're going to do a lot of Windows gaming, this might even be the best direction for you. Steam Deck's not even ready for Windows gaming right now. Their drivers really aren't ready for Windows. That could change by the time you watch this, but for right now, from my understanding, they're not ready. So with those two, they're very evenly matched. I know Linus had a hard time deciding between the two. I do edge towards the OneXPlayer. The form factor is a little off for me, but I do like the bigger screen and I like the way it looks. The Aya Neo Next is just an all-around pretty smooth device, and it's almost like a Switch. So I really do like the aesthetics on that. And it has one fan, where the OneXPlayer has two fans. The OneXPlayer, I'm assuming, is going to be cool. Like they're so close in performance, even though the Aya Neo Next is actually higher spec. But that extra cooling, I believe, brings the OneXPlayer into a closer tie, but it's not quite a tie. From my understanding, Aya Neo is a little bit faster. At least according to some of the games I've seen played. The GPD Win 3, which I hate the name, and that alone you shouldn't buy it, but no, I'm kidding. It is about $1,200. It's the smaller of the three, and so if you can deal with a smaller screen and you really need a keyboard, then it's the option for you, because it really is. It's. I'll be honest, I've never liked the way it looked, but I like the form factor, and I liked just, it seems so much more pocketable, but it seems like more of an emulator kind of style system, or something that if you want to try typing on the go. It really reminds me of my flip phones, or my I had one of the early Android phones that could flip up, and have the keyboard. I actually quite like those. But if it's for PC gaming, I do want to emulate a lot, and don't get me wrong, that is a big part of why I'm buying a portable gaming device, but it's not the only reason. I want to play Witcher 3, and that is a big part of this decision, is some of the games like Witcher 3 that are third person on the go. That one's one I'd love to play when I want. So between the three, like I said, OneXPlayer is the one for me, but I would recommend the Aya Neo Next if you can find one. I couldn't find one. So if you can get one and you want an alternative to a Steam Deck, then go for that one, is my recommendation. But if you can wait, and ultimately, I do recommend waiting for the Steam Deck. Let's say if you're reserving right now, you might not get your Steam Deck for 6 months to a year, potentially longer. Who knows? It does sound like they're fulfilling their supplies much quicker to the Q1 and Q2, so we could see some quicker movement for anyone that's reserving now, but there's no guarantee. And if let's say 2022 is the year you plan on traveling, then I'd recommend getting one of these. If you're really low on the queue for getting a device. Now, before I continue on and get to the end of this, which device is your favorite and which one do you recommend instead of the Steam? Let me know in the Steam Deck, that is. Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear hands-on experience, or even if you don't have it and you have an opinion, just let me know. But I'd want to hear hands-on experience, what your favorite is, because I don't have that. And maybe one day I will, but I'm kind of getting into this game a little late for some of these devices. So SteamOS might be able to be ran on some of these. So if you get one, SteamOS might be able to be ran. The problem is I know the Steam Deck is optimized to run with the SteamOS, so they have some optimizations. I'm sure they have some major optimizations for the AMD APU that they have inside of the Steam Deck. So that's something to take into account. It will most likely run SteamOS, like once they release it fully. It just will run games as well as the Steam Deck. I can't guarantee that until we see some benchmarks and some people come out with it. And if I have a device, if I get one of these devices, which I am thinking about just for the channel, because I mean, I like doing this stuff and I really want to bring you the best content I can. And having hands-on is the best way to do it, I believe. That is it. I am excited. I want to go out and buy one of these now, but we'll see. Once again, it'd be for the channel, not for me. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.